Yeah, so I'm excited for this talk. I have with me Taras and Nicolas. Taras is the CEO of ClickDealer. Taras is the CEO of CrakRevenue. Before we start, we don't have too much time and we have a lot to cover.
Both Taras.
Taras.
Nicolas,
yeah, sorry. So Taras, can you maybe tell a bit about yourself and kind of like share your history before we jump to the questions?
Sure. To be honest, my history in online marketing really started a long time ago, probably in 2000s. I was an affiliate myself. It was a long journey from being an affiliate to being a mailer. At some point, I decided to join the other side, which is a network side. And my first experience started at Amanda Media, where I was an affiliate manager. Then after a while, I joined ClickDealer as a consultant, and it was a very exciting time. ClickDealer started in 2012. It was a small company just specializing in dating, and with our all global efforts, ClickDealer kind of turned into this massive global performance marketing company that specializes in the per action campaigns. And today, ClickDealer has offices pretty much on every continent, and we specialize in purely performance marketing. We deliver constant results driven basis to our advertisers, and we specialize in pretty much every vertical in every geo there is. And what makes us special is that our global presence.
Amazing. And how long have you been with the company?
I've been 8 years.
Nice, amazing.
I think my 8 years are about to happen like this month, I think.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
Nicolas, could you tell the audience a bit about yourself and your background?
Hi, everybody. I'm happy to be with you this morning. So I started in affiliate marketing around 2003. I had some funny video websites, and then YouTube came around, turned my sites into sexy sites, starting selling banners, learn about affiliate marketing, then learned that we could buy banners from other sites. So I started media buy. We were really creative, so people started a bit to copy or creative or landing. So I decided to start a little platform to share with my fellow media buyer my platform. So instead of let's say copying me, they were using my creative, and we'll together as bigger volume, so bigger negotiation power. We ended up with Follow the Whale, which we're considered as a whale at this point. So I ended up create CrakRevenue for my friends and competitors, and it became one of the largest adult network today. We do around we were targeting 100 million in 2020, and we did 125. So that's pretty much where we stand. We're specialized in cams. We do dating and other stuff, surveys, and Blue Chew, which is a kind of Viagra by mail. But it's pretty much adult oriented and boomer oriented. But I do understand millennials as we have about 150 employees, and probably 100 of them are millennials. So that's that have to sell them much, but just handling them make me understand a lot about them. So let's get started.
Oh, wow. So you have 100 of your employees who are millennials, right? That's,
yeah, pretty much, or close to be, or act like millennial.
Act like millennials. Yeah, I love that addition. Sometimes my mother, she acts like a millennial too. I love that. So let's talk about millennials. So what are millennials? So millennials are anyone between the age of 23 to 38. And there was a study that came out recently that highlighted the fact that millennials just exceeded baby boomers in terms of the market size. So right now in the US, there are 72 million millennials and 71 million baby boomers. I'd love to talk to you guys about the differences when it comes to how do you market to this group of millennials. And just a quick note to the audience, as we go through this session, if you have any questions, you can raise your hand and put your question in the chat. I'll make sure that we leave enough time for Q&A at the end. Okay, so Nicolas, let's start with you, the guy that has more than 100 millennials under you, which is quite the task. Let's talk about the first question. So are millennials, in your experience, are millennials the most important adult demographic right now?
Yeah, I don't want to hurt their feelings for the ones that are listening to us, but no. I did some research. I got the questions a bit late, but still, I didn't know the answer before. It's according to some research I've read last night. It's like millennials earn less, 20% less than boomer used to earn at the same age. Okay, there are more freedom. They're less, they prefer to live their life, travel early, and do, where the previous generation or boomers, if we don't count the Hicks, were like getting married, working, and getting in career at like early 20s. Now they start their life at like 25, sometimes as up to 30, and they want to travel, they have freedom. They don't want to have a family right now. So let's say they are less into making a fixed revenue stream. So also less into debts. They don't get a mortgage, they don't get a car right now. So I believe they own only 3% of the U.S. wealth right now. So they're the target. When you build a brand for long term, you have to target millennials. If you want to get known, but for us, which target long time revenue stream, where like we sell camps and the member value is over like 3 to 10 years. Right now, I still prefer boomers as my main, and also I sell Viagra. So millennials, okay, well, if you look at the product, it's targeted a bit to the younger audience, but still maybe not millennials. So I'm curious to hear Taras, because we don't have the same sector of business.
Yeah. As well, to be honest, as a millennial, I'll have to agree with you. Something that I get argument with my parents, which are boomers. If you describe millennials as a demographic, specifically by sheer size, it's the biggest demographic right now that there is, especially like actually in the whole planet, not just in North America. At the same time, it's the demographic which actually is screwed because they're actually are in a lot of debt. If you look at the demographics of boomers versus millennials, boomers have the most assets and they have less income that they spend on things, while millennials actually are mostly in debt, especially, we just had elections, and a great example is student debt. Like, statistically speaking, everybody has some percent still left from student debt, which kind of cuts into their disposable income. Nonetheless, millennials are very tech savvy. So even though they don't have as much money, they spend the money differently. And us as marketers, we need to look how they spend those money. And, majority of those millennials, I think 2/3 prefer buying stuff online. We're not in the same, we don't run the same kind of products as Nicolas when it comes to Blue Chew and other things. I mean, it's definitely, targeted towards boomers, but there's other opportunities to market to millennials. So student debt relief, financial services. So basically what we have to do is just look at them differently, realize that they don't have as much money to spend things like, exuberant travel, but we have to understand that these guys have other needs that we can, fulfill with different services.
Interesting. That's very interesting. You actually covered my next question as well. I was going to ask, no, it's great. I love it. I was going to ask, how should we market differently to millennials? And what you just shared is you got to understand how they think. So millennials, they have less disposable income than the baby boomers, and they have different stuff going on in their life. So the more you get into the prospect head, the better you can figure out what's the correct way to market them. How do I touch their pain points? How do I speak their lingo? Nicolas, do you have anything to add on that before we move on?
But regarding their buying habits, and you're right, they got debts and they won't get the retirement funds the boomer got because the boomer live longer and they're going to spend it all. And then the millennials have to approach that differently. And of course, that kind of offers, but I think if we're look at targeting them. So we're, CPA people per action. Our end goal is to get them to fill a form and put information, get a lead done, you know, a credit card, an email, an address, whatever. We want a lead done, whether it's Blue Chew or student debt. And the millennials are, as Tara said, a lot more tech savvy. They read the fine prints, and they use a prepaid card. And a long time ago, I was like wondering, because we look at our numbers, and prepaid card was growing up, and growing up as much as the mobile traffic. So we did like huge surveys, and we're asking consumer, what age group are you? And then trust the data, and look at like millennials, like 18 to 25 at that time, were using a lot of mobile and prepaid card. And then I was like, okay, why? Yeah, okay, fine. They had their previous generation of marketer were really aggressive into the fine prints and cross sale and X sales and everything done to bang a card. And now there's a lot of reviews and good sites about getting information about what you're going to buy and where you're going to, what form you're filling. So right now there's two factors that millennials are acting differently. Even the one with money, 60% of them that have an household over $100,000 use a prepaid card. They're scared of hacking. They don't want their data to be online. So even if they have money, even if they trust the site they sign on, they will use a prepaid card just to not risk to have their online card. So we need to be transparent. Transparency is the key about security, about what they're signing for, and of course the regulation now force most of the clients we have to be more transparent themselves as well. So I think it's something that's specific to the millennial. They're way more cautious about where they put their card on and what they sign for, and they don't forget the trials. They use their phone and they cancel it. So we need to have a different approach regarding that. And I think the next subject will cover that part too. And I want to, it's for us, it's a reality. Now we have to be really straightforward about what we sell and what are the terms. And we have success. And I think it's the hard way for it. It's a harder path, but let's clear out a lot of bad apples within the market, which was only focused on getting the form done. Now we need to consider what's happening next for them.
Great stuff. I mean, you guys are sharing so much wisdom here. That's amazing. So you talk a lot about how it is just so important to know your audience and to speak the language of your audience and to understand the pain points of your audience. So if I'm an affiliate and I'm going to create a campaign on Facebook, I have different metrics that I could choose from, different criteria for my target audience. I could select areas of interest. I could select the geography. Would you say that age is the primary designation for me as an affiliate to find the traffic with the highest ROI? Taras, what do you think?
I would say it's just a part of a formula. And also it depends on the product, because in terms of millennial, they're probably one of the most diversified groups that you can think of. If you think about the gap between 23 years old and 40, that's a huge difference, right? They kind of bundle up together, but I mean, I'm 36, I'm almost X-Gen, but I'm still considered as a millennial. And wow. Trust me, my interests together with the 23 years olds are absolutely different. The things we look up to, the brands we look up to. So there's a lot of other different factors which are probably play a huge role in terms of running campaigns towards millennials. The demographics as social economic demographics play a huge role too, and also that depends on maybe location, the language. So I would say that age plays an important role, specifically when you try to target the age group for specific products. Somebody maybe with who's out of the college and they looking for a job would be one group of people, but somebody who's in 30s and looking to pay off his university debt would be a different would have a different approach. And besides the age, building your campaign around the age demographic, I would also look into how millennials are look up to the products, because it's not just the age that plays an important factor. It's also what their peers think. So what my peers at 36 years old think and what peers at 23 years old think absolutely different. And millennials are like, as a digital nomads, they really look up to not what their parents think, but what are their friends and brand ambassadors think. So building your campaign, I'm pretty sure that Nicolas will, it's an old marketing trick, but Nicolas will probably confirm that, peer reviews or reviews play an important role when you build a landing page and you try to sell a product, because, over like 50% people will look up to the reviews to make a decision. They're not going to ask their parents for advice. They're going to look up to others of same demographic to look up and make a choice.
Nicolas? Yeah. Anything to add?
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't consider you as a millennial, Taras. You have a much older guy. Yeah, I'm 43, by the way, but I never had a beard, so I cannot. I look like the millennial between us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll talk about something we have in common. We've been pushing adult dating, and obviously I cannot push it on Facebook, but it's an age group. And I've been working with the group of Taras, and they have some great dating, and I've been working with them, and we got different payout for age group. So like, let's say in dating, they know Tinder, they know all the apps, they know Facebook dating and all that. But they still sign up. But the member value, the long-term value of those users is much shorter, because if they don't find quick what they want, so the age is an important factor. If depend what you target. If you target the mass, if you want volume, if you want a lot of sign up, target younger audience and go ahead for similar product. I mean. And sometimes that's the challenge of the client. That's what they want. You have lots of leads, and then we onboard them and try to identify their needs. And then even on Facebook, if you go mobile and younger audience, you're gonna generate a lot of interest for cheap. Normally, it's not the most expensive audience. So it really depends on your end target. And as for the for us, you mentioned the reviews. One thing that we changed over and adapt to the millennials, it's effectively the review sites. We do what's called a brand locking. We develop brands, but we also make sure that 80% of the main page are controlled by us or our affiliates. We make specific deal with affiliates that are great in SEO or review sites to make sure that, because we do know we do a lot of first touch, last touch reviews, and to see the customer path, the customer journey. And most of the Facebook leads, 80% of them goes to Google right after. They see you and they go to Google, and the leads come from Google. But the first touch is on Facebook. So it's really, really, really important that you have a brand ambassador. They will review, but if it's someone they trust, that tell them about the product, they will sign up right away. No review, nothing. They go directly. So we're right in the middle. We got Google 360 this year, and we got like accurate data for every campaign, and that's where I spend most of my day right now. It's like I'm looking at that in the customer journey, and it's amazing to see the difference between the age group. Because the older, they just see something, they search sometime on Google, they sign up. But the millennials, right away Google this, and then you see Facebook, Google, review site, and then lead, and that's how it happened. So it's really important to control the information about your products for millennials.
One thing you guys said that I want to emphasize is you're saying don't make the mistake of thinking that age alone is how you should categorize your audience. Age is just one variable in the formula, but you have to understand that at the other end, there's an actual human being that is comprised then more than just their age. Like Taras was sharing earlier, just the fact that he is a millennial, according to the textbook, he doesn't exactly act or think like a millennial. So with that, Taras, do you feel that with everything that we just discussed, do you still feel that there are some products or services that would do better with millennials?
Yes, I do. Considering that, we can look from a few points, right? We know that they're broke, so we know that they're broke, but they want entertainment. So in some sense, like, I mean, not to say they're all the millennials, but we know that majority is cannot, for example, afford traveling. So that means that they want more entertainment. They want to spend money on maybe smaller things, but more of those things, right? So for example, one of the most popular things that millennials have higher use is the fact that they like subscriptions, which works great for us. And there's all sorts of subscriptions, which could be from a food subscription. And if anybody been following the markets for the last couple of years, we all know how much, for example, convenience subscription services blew up in terms of Fresh Hello, of delivery food. So we know that they have less money, but they still want to entertain. They're still going to spend money on food. They're still going to spend money on themselves. They really like brands. So we need to understand this demographic that has less disposable income, but still ready to spend on things. And we have to understand how they think and the way they, what were they shaped on. For example, well, this subject is going to come up later on, but a good example is the idol car of millennial generation is Toyota Prius. So we know that this demographic group is very eco-sensible, and they care about the companies and how they behave. So companies which at least pretend to look like they care about the environment, they care about the customer experience, they do their best to take care of customer experience, are the services that millennials will pick. When baby boomers were more old school, they kind of believed in all, in all ways of brands and things that they're tested. Millennials are kind of enigma. They're very, they believe into the brands, but at the same time, because they have less disposable income, they will switch brands if the customer experience is not to their par, or if the company is doing something that they don't like. One of great examples of changing trends is Robinhood app. I'm pretty sure if anybody wasn't living under the rock last 2 weeks ago, the whole thing with, this is a great example of millennial behavior, right? It's like people without money, people without investment plans, seeking money in the company, which is now going to crash. At the same time, getting pissed off at Robinhood, which gave them the opportunity app, right? And it's a great example of like a psyche of consumer behavior, right? They all love Robinhood to invest, but at the same time, if Robinhood doesn't agree with them, people left 300,000 negative reviews. So when it comes to millennials, it's everything digital, it's everything with a good experience. Experience matters. That's all I have to say. Like, experience is the most important key here.
Yep, for sure. Nicolas, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, totally. That's totally joined the point I was mentioning just earlier about the importance of their I don't want to sound rude. They're quick to give their review and opinion of other matters as well. So yes, they're all about environment, but also the perception of others that they are about environment. Are they really all the time? It's a lot of about, look how I'm following the trend. Everything is about trends now. And Robinhood was last week trends, but the week before it was GME. And then, it goes really, really fast. And you have to adapt to the trends. And responsiveness is something that marketers have to be able to, you can be this week flavor, but you can be last week flavor really fast, as it happened with Robinhood and many, everybody was on Robinhood. And if you react, you have to be, yes, you mentioned the tariffs, now building brand. Before, for my first 10 years as a media buyer, I was building throwaway brand, landing page, domain. I burned tons of brands, that I built over the years. That was ridiculous, but my goal was just to fill the form. And maybe in the last 6-7 years, started to do that switch, and I'm building long-lasting brands, and because it's more important now. That's also because everything changed, and the market wanted us to be get the leads and pay the highest price of the bid market. So before that, you had to be, but now with the way Facebook advertising, Google advertising behave, is not only about the highest CPM. It's also about the review status of your account. Are the consumer happy or not with your account? So if you're having the highest CPM is not the only thing now. You have to have the happy customer, and building a brand that people trust and have lots of good review about it is really, really important with millennials. And it's going to be important with every part, because now the way millennial behave impact the boomer. The boomer are adapting to that. You said that your mom act as a millennial. My mom read reviews now. My you know, she's not doing TikTok trends, hopefully not, but she still read review. You know, it's you have to adapt pretty fast. And you know, Gary and Mark, we are a marketer as well. And we have to be fast to react and adapt to the current trend. And because that's how you get popular, and you get word of mouth passed around. You know, people. We want those organic sales from people happy about our brand and talking about it. And that's really, really important towards millennial to have, you know, that line of direct trust and building that trust.
Yeah, good stuff, good stuff. So Taras, I'm glad you mentioned the Robinhood and the whole craziness that happened over the past 2 weeks with GameStop. So Robinhood, I think without a doubt, is a company that in many ways was created for millennials, by millennials. If I happen to have more of a legacy business and I created a product that I feel would be a perfect fit for millennials, what, in your view, is the best way for me to adjust my sales and marketing techniques so that they would appeal to millennials?
So when we go back to the psyche of millennials, where we understand that they're looking for, you know, for peer opinions, I would say that, you know, I keep hearing, you know, the same message over and over, which says market through them, not to them. So, you know, if older generations want a commercial speaking to them what they need to do, or, you know, why do you need this product? In order to approach a millennial, you have to kind of have, you know, use more of a social proof versus speaking to them. They want to hear it from their peers, not from a brand itself. And, you know, there's a few ways that the brands can do that. You know, that's creating positive content that is very shareable, like utilizing, you know, the resources that the internet provides, which is social media, right? And good example of Robinhood. The moment the Robinhood got hit, Fidelity and other companies stepped in and said, you know, transfer your money to Fidelity, make investments here. That is a great example of how, you know, marketing company used an opportunity of, you know, downfall one and in the changing opinions of millennials to suck in right away, you know, the customers to themselves. And you know, millennials respond very well to funny content, and which becomes very shareable, which is pretty much free marketing, right? We can see from you know, from history of Super Bowl that, you know, how many commercials are created that don't even go to Super Bowl, but everybody views them because, you know, they know that the hype is there and it's going to be, you know, it's going to be shared, it's going to be used by people, and everybody utilizes social media to the, you know, to the maximum extent. The millennials like to, you know, the advertisers need to get social with millennials. They need to communicate. The experiences are very important. The customer experience is one of the top things, you know, that they care about. So, you know, being social, talking to actual consumers is very, very important. They also have to have a cause. I know one of my favorite companies, which, you know, blew up on the stock market, was Lemonade. You know, their premise was, you know, we're gonna give you home insurances, which are easy, and we're gonna donate all our money, you know, into some cause that we haven't used, you know, paying you back. Mind-boggling, you know, how can a public company, which is supposed to be about like creating value for shareholders, gonna give it away the money? No, that was their startup, you know, that was their startup strategy to actually get customers. But it's super important, you know, creating a cause or supporting a cause, and, you know, creating that value that, you know, even if it's not real, it's about the perceptions, right? It's a consumer behavior, right? And last but not least, you have to segment those 20 to 40 years olds, because again, you know, some brands that I associate, I might even know like who's associating with the 23. You know, I don't follow the pop culture of that age group, so I might, you know, completely miss out. So whatever brand is building at the age group they pick within the millennials, they need to make a choice. You know, what kind of cues are they using, because there's quite a lot of differentiation within that group.
Yep, good stuff. So you're saying create a for-purpose business, or create a purpose that your audience can resonate with. That's so powerful. Thank you.
To be honest, I want to add, I was watching a psychologist talking about it, and he said, like, you know, like one of the biggest downfalls of the same for millennials is that, you know, they want to have a purpose, but it's really hard to have a purpose. Like, you know, it's so you have to kind of create a purpose for them. That's all. Like, you know, so they feel to be part of something bigger, because, you know, the last 20 years generation, it's been, you know, crisis from a crisis, without kind of like, you know, they need to feel to be, you know, to be part of something. That's all.
Yeah, and I mean, Lemonade is a great example. There's another company by the name of Tom's Shoes. I believe that's how they are called, where for every pair of shoes you buy, they donate one pair. So I agree 100%. I mean, for millennials, if they feel that every time they do business with you, they are making the world a better place, 100%. That's the best way for them to feel like, yeah, I want to do business with this company, because by the virtue of just me doing business with this company, I am part of the solution. I'm making the world a better place.
Yeah, that angle is hard to make it concrete in an advertisement. You know, it's, you have to have big budget, but when you buy on Facebook and you need direct response, one of the strategy that being used and overused but still work naturally is the freemium approach. But now a real freemium, not a freemium that you get cross-sell or upsell 2 days after. Okay, already going. Okay. So let's say one of the tremendous success in the gaming, we do some gaming, but not enough, and I wish I will do more. Let's say talking about freemium, Fortnite, targeted to kids and millennials. You know, they all played that game, and one of the biggest money maker for the last 2 years. And yeah, you know, Fortnite is free, and millennials like to be in control. You see, they need to have a purpose, but they also need to feel in control of how much they spend. They don't want to pay a full game $75. They will get it for free, but buy 20 DLC at $20 each and end up paying the full game $400. They're in control, and they create a lot more value. So how do we achieve that? Fortnite average value per customer, and that includes 6-year-old kids that never buy a skin, is $85. You know, they're more expensive than most of the AAA game right now, which is sell about $75 to $70. So how do you achieve that? You know, they make a free game and they went for the mass. And you said they are part of the community now, and people like that. And they buy skins that doesn't bring anything. It's just a skin. You make me feel different in the community and like stand apart and show that I have some, you know, I can afford the $25 skin that I will be using for 2 weeks, while I don't want to pay $25 for the full game, which makes absolutely no sense for a boomer like me. That like to pay $50 and then have everything unlocked and play as much as I want if I want to play it. So that's an approach that we need. So I sell a lot of cam. I run an affiliate program for my free cam, which is a freemium campsite, and a premium campsite, which is Jerkmate, which is premium. And the audience of both sites are totally different. I will have 1,000 people in one room in one site because they all tips, and they're like, it's more like a bunch of guys at a strip club around the, you know, the pole in the stage. And then there's the guy in the cabin that's gonna spend 3 hours talking about his wife that he ate and paying the money a lot. But this guy is a boomer. This guy is kids left home. He is full on top of the food chain regarding his job. He's not early, so he can't spend, and he wants to show what he spent, and he spent it straight away. Well, the freemium, which is my industry, so it's still mostly adult, but I think that applies to all industry about, you know, make them try it for free, but make sure they love their experience. Yes.
Got it.
Yes, I have to stop.
I'm going to stay with you, Nicolas. You mentioned TikTok earlier. So I have 2 daughters. who are spending so much time on TikTok. I mean, a lot more than I feel comfortable
Same for my
admitting.
daughter.
They just spend so much time on TikTok. So when we talk about the platforms, what, in your view, are the best platforms to use when I want to market to millennials?
Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Unfortunately, millennials are going to be like a baby boomers of MySpace. TikTok is the next generation, which is following after us. Yeah, I mean, millennials are
Snapchat.
Snapchat, but millennials are sipping into TikTok, but still the majority of millennials, when we talk about mainstream marketing, are still on Facebook, they're still on YouTube, and still on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Very interesting. I would think TikTok, but you're saying no, TikTok is interesting.
Next generation. For some stuff, TikTok is working real well. You see all those TikTok of sex ads right now. And people identify to the brand as a trend, but I'm not sure that it has a lot of influence on the millennials. Not sure. My daughter is 12 and she's on TikTok a few hours a day, and all her playlists from the music she listened to are from the trends on TikTok. A new song on TikTok, new song in the playlist. And probably when she wants some clothes and she fill her basket on any online site she shop, she's seen something. She made me buy a tons of light, Philips Hue light to put in her room, because a new trend is all those TikTokers that are locked in the room because with the pandemic, and they just light the room. So now their full room is full. It cost me $1,000 of light. It's TikTok has an influence, but not sure about
Generation Z. That's what,
yeah.
It's Generation Z, basically.
Nicolas, I hear your pain, my friend. I mean, we would have a song play on the radio, and my daughter would walk into the room, and it would be like an oldie, like a pretty famous song, and my daughter would walk in, and she would say, "Oh, this is a TikTok song," right?
Oh, so yeah, might be the same.
Okay, so I mean, it's just amazing how this TikTok became their entire universe. Like everything that they do is in one way, shape, or form related. And
I got them doing the WAP dance, the wet ass pussy dance, and I was like, oh yeah, maybe not.
Right, just crazy, and it just happened to be owned by a Chinese company. But let's stay on course. So we talked about millennials. We talked about how they are broke, and yet at the same time they want to make a difference. Would you guys say that millennials, in terms of marketing to them, are they only interested in freemium content? Is that really the only way to get them in the door? Nicolas?
I will not say the only way. Naturally, it's a good way. It's an easy way. And also, you want as many leads now with all the, let's say from the other side, from us getting the leads in our system. Compared to 10, 15 years ago, we had so much metric to understand their behavior. So I like getting as many leads as I can and then handling them and trying to convert them. Prior to that, we wanted to qualify the lead as much as possible and then get only valuable lead, because we wanted to take care of our mids and everything. But now I'm more into as much as possible. So freemium is really one way. When we promote Blue Chew, those pills, we made it super millennial friendly, look nice, and a little pouch. But the success is influence marketing and coupon code. We give them a
What is it exactly? What is this product?
It's a monthly membership like Dollar Shave Club for Viagra. So you do online consultation with a doctor, and then you pay $20 a month, and you get 5 Blue Chew per mail. So it's easy, it's convenient, it's discreet, and I'm not here to make a sales pitch, but let's say we do target millennials from 30 years old, because with a brand like that, most of the guy at one point, it won't be like it used to be. So for us, targeting millennial right now and telling them it's more about brand awareness. Right now, maybe they're gonna use it one night. They have 3 girls home, or make whatever, too much alcohol or drugs or whatever. But it's not gonna be a recurring customer. But the day he get to his 50s, and he will remember what he used and what worked for him. So we're planting the seeds into millennial now, but that's not a primary market. But we don't, we still market to them a lot. We invest a lot because on the long term, it's it's so future clients. It's the future Sofdex.
Love it. Taras?
I send you all free. You use
Yeah, to be honest, in terms of freemium, I would say it's a marketing technique. At the end of the day, if you talk about adult, we all know here that OnlyFans does about $2 billion in revenue per year. So it's safe to say that millennials are ready to pay for good services and for good content. And,
yeah, but on OnlyFans, they sign for free.
In the beginning, that's what I'm saying. It's a hook, but it's not, it's a good hook model. But same thing with Netflix, everybody here probably got their first 1 month free, right? And they're like, yeah, this is good stuff. We're going to keep. Same thing with
7 years later, you still pay. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And you pay actually for 7 accounts. So same thing with that. Same thing with Amazon Prime. We can actually see, we can look up to big companies like Disney, Amazon, launching services which start as a freemium for 1 month and then getting to subscription. So it's just a tool, but
yeah, the common point in everything you said, Paris, is it's all an entry for the freemium.
It's an entry point.
But
that's it,
the product behind is good, and that's really what's mattered to millennial now, which was not the marketing. That was the highest CPM or the highest CPC, and that's all. Like, get the form filled, get that credit card on, and then do as much money as we can. And it changed, and good. It's a good thing because now they're more aware of what they signed for. And we have users that sign with prepaid card, but have high value. They rebuild and they refill and they keep, but they still use a prepaid card. And it's amazing. 5 years ago, prepaid card worth nothing. It was just for people that want to scam us and get paid and whatever.
Yeah.
So
we cannot talk about millennials without mentioning Clubhouse, right? So Clubhouse, that's all the rage right now. It's a brand new audio-only platform. I'm curious if any of you have any experience, not just hopping on Clubhouse, but do you know anyone who's actually making money from Clubhouse?
If Elon Musk has some secret shares and maybe that's why he joined, because after he joined, that company valuation went to $1 billion.
Right.
Unfortunately, I'm a diehard Android user, but one thing I'd just say that in terms of Clubhouse, it's a good phenomenon. I mean, everybody's sitting at home. It's an awesome tool which changes the way people talk to each other. It's a different format. It went from messaging to just talking, and which provides more value. And I think we're going to see more of stuff like this popping up during the COVID. That's all I have to say. Unfortunately, I'm an Android hard. I would love to get there. I have a FOMO, but
I'm waiting for my invite. I'm waiting for my invite.
But
you have an iPad, Taras? You could log in with an iPad.
You can do that. Honestly, I'm pure Android person. I kind of gave up on Apple a long time ago, and I got locked into Google everything. So
I'm with you. I'm an Android guy, but I had to check out Clubhouse, so I got it on the iPad just to check it out, just to see what all the.
I might do that. I mean, people feel like it creates value for them. So, and they feel part of something in those groups, right? So it's a great model, right? That's how Gmail blew up and killed Hotmail. It was just invites and everybody wanted an invite. But here's the thing with the Clubhouse. People are having FOMO. They're not part of the club.
So time is flying here. I just want to make sure we get to some of the questions. Yeah. So one of the questions we got from the audience is, do you guys feel that millennials are more cynical than older generations? Taras, let's start with you.
I'd say they're goddamn hypocrites.
Okay.
It's a generation which says, when we talk about, which brands millennials associate with, it would be like Nike would be #1 and Apple would be #2. If we consider millennials being generation which cares about eco-friendliness, we all know where our electronics come from. They come from Congo, Congo mines where children are mining, and then those products are sent to China at the children's factory where they put it together. And then people get their iPhones and say, oh, look, I care about the environment, I care about people, but it's not true. So it comes to the fact that it's not about what really reality is, but what the perception of reality is. So when it comes to millennials being cynical, You know what? When you have $50,000 debt from university and you cannot get a job which pays more than $25,000, yeah, they're probably cynical.
Good one.
That's
Nicolas?
my opinion. Yeah, that's my opinion.
I believe every generation is going to be more cynical about the previous one regarding war, regarding ecology, regarding everything. It's all about, yeah, we're evolution of the previous generation, so we're better. And but now with all the information and you see what, you know, when a country, no offense to anyone, but when a country can elect a reality star, that the main phrase is you're fired as president. People are like, yeah, everybody claim we want change, but he quit the Paris, accord. And he's like, yeah, and how do you get this guy as a president when everybody claimed there was like an Al Gore movie 10 years ago, and everybody was like, yeah, we're gonna change altogether, but you know, this happened. So yes, I think it's not only them that are cynical, but we're, you know, as a planet, we have to be, because it's crazy what's happening. But just to be back at Clubhouse, I was thinking about this COVID situation, and this is a way to all of us, millennial, boomer, you know, to get all on the same page. We're all locked home, and we have all to use those technology to get up to speed. So that's one of the key of the success, and it's also a way to communicate a lot more. We are trade show people. We like to be there, and now it's like we're locked home. We're talking about it, me and Taras. We're like, we want to throw the biggest fucking party because we miss that human connection. And I think Clubhouse success is all about connecting people. And now we have the whole planet is easy to be connected with, so we can exchange and share with people. Mike, where are you from? London, I believe.
No, I'm from Miami.
Miami. For some reason, I thought you were from the UK. I'm French Canadian.
So guys, I mean, I cannot believe it, but we have already been talking for 48 minutes. We only have 3 minutes left. Okay. Closing remarks. Tarax, what is working right now? If I'm an affiliate, what exactly should I be doing in order to crush it and earn money right now?
No, you have to pick the right offers, I'd say. If you're working, you know, if you're marketing to boomers, you got a blue chew. For example, our company, you know, realized that during the COVID, people got stuck at home and they look at around their houses. So we started promoting actually home services like crazy, and they're doing extremely well. So basically analyzing the situation, analyzing the trend, and finding, you know, what people are needing. So another great example, you know, pool.com, like, you know, because people got stuck at home, people started selling pools like crazy, right? So you can sell, you know, leads for pools. Kitchen renovations. People are sitting at home, looking at their kitchens. They're not happy with their bathrooms. Everybody needs an office at home. Everybody's stuck at home, right? So like looking at those kind of things, looking at the trends, in, you know, transcending and finding the right, you know, the right message and the right product for those consumers. That is, you know, that's going to be always relevant, no matter when you are or where you are.
Perfect. Nicolas?
I will say two things. One is from Jeff Bezos, customer obsession. Think about what your customer wants, what you're selling, no matter the niche, and use the data. Data is king. You know, we have all the tools now to understand the behavior of a customer and the cost, you know, the return you do. So learn how to read the data, become a data specialist. You know, you're a marketer, but now a marketer is being a human behavior specialist and a data specialist. Understand what your user want and make them happy, and the rest is gonna come. It's not the time of scam anymore. It's not the time of like easy sell. It's sell something that matters to the customer and make sure you understand. Because obviously, you know, you want, as a shareholder of company, let's say Amazon, you can claim customer obsession, but the reality is also shareholder obsession. But you don't have to mention it, because if you do customer obsession and you get, you know, what the user tailor-made offer for the guy that visit your site, adapt to what your user wants, and then the customer, the shareholder is going to be happy because the customer is happy. So that's where we stand now, and millennials follow that. You know, they want to be happy. They look at if the others, their pair, are happy, if their influencer are happy, if the ambassador are happy, they're going to be happy. And then you gather the data and you build your campaign based on facts and data, and then, you know, it should work. It's been working for us. That's my advice.
Perfect.
Customer and data.
Thank you guys so much. You
You're welcome.
both have been amazing. If anyone has any additional questions, make sure you hit up Taras or Nicolas in the portal. Thank you guys so much.
You're
Thank you very
welcome.
much. And Taras, let's talk about our next party.
Sure, of course.
Cheers. Can't wait to
Cheers.
see you all in real.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
So
Thanks a lot, Mike. That was awesome. Great panel. You know, my background's Facebook advertising, so I'm very much in tune with kind of what's happening with that millennial demographic. And I think one of the things to point out is their attention span's very short, and they don't have time for a lot of that noise that's filling their news feeds on social media. So it's a matter as a marketer to cut through that noise one way or another to get to them. And you know, look, their attention span's so short, showing, they'll prove this in the concept with TikTok, short 15-second clips that people are just on to the next one, on to the next one. And I think it's the platform that's the fastest growing in terms of retention, right? It's very much geared towards that market. And I think that's something to be said. I mean, Gen Z will be the next conversation that we'll have to have at interNEXT next year.
Brilliant.
Yeah, awesome. So thanks again, Mike, and stay tuned. We're going to be right back, and we're going to be talking about Pornhub.